Hey everyone, Christopher Ludwig here in Huntington Beach for Finished Vehicle Logistics North America. We've just wrapped up our first full day of the conference with jam-packed full of sessions. Just wanted to share some of the highlights for you, for those of you who are not lucky enough to be here with us. I think it's fair to say that ETA improvement and visibility have been the leitmotifs of this conference, running across almost every discussion. And of course, those of you who have been following vehicle logistics for some time know that having an ETA, knowing where vehicles are at a point has always been an important priority, has always been high on the agenda. But somehow it's certainly moved from being a nice to have in this sector to being a must. Why is that? Well, as you all know, every vehicle is accounted for with a sale. OEM dealers are selling out of pipelines from cars as soon as they're available to ship or before they're even built, and that's putting so much more pressure on that visibility and on customers knowing when they're going to get their cars. As we heard from Mikiciuk, Senior Vice President of Sales for Volkswagen here in the US, their dealer body, Volkswagen's dealer body, has put ETA at the very top of the agenda. That's one of the absolute missions of the organization, is to improve ETA. That's not the sort of thing in the past that we've heard from a dealer group who've much more often concerned about what vehicle would be available and in a product line. Now it's about that ETA. So this isn't an option anymore, and that of course is something that we're hearing across every OEM. And vehicle logistics specialists and supply chain organizations are having to respond to that. We heard from Chris Stiles at Nissan, who leads the wider supply chain management organization, that this has become a huge priority, of course, at Nissan. And in fact, at Nissan, vehicle logistics has now become really high on the priority list in the wider organization, even beyond supply chain. So impacting decisions on production, on products, and future supply chain decisions to make sure that routes to customer are high on the agenda when it comes to that. So we're seeing a lot. But then another thing to look at, and we heard on a panel from Ford, along with United Road and Kansas City Southern, that to quote a film, Houston, we may have a problem. The capacity in the industry, we've lost a lot of vehicle logistics capacity. 30% of the road carrier market has disappeared, and many of them, to quote Mark Anderson, are just not coming back. These are drivers who've left the industry to go drive for other sectors. In many cases, they're driven out not only over issues of pay, although that is an issue, but also over inefficiencies in the system. They can't get home at night. They're having to manually do many things. They're having to make many stops because the loads aren't optimized. There's a lot of things that are happening, which actually inefficiencies, which are also impacting on the labor market. And although volume in the industry right now isn't very high, any recovery in production is going to put more strain on that. And so that's something the industry really has to work on together. And it's not just road. We heard from rail. Rail service right now is not at its best. There's a lot of misalignment in the network that is causing significant issues in ETA and delivery times. But when we look as well in the railroads, they're having huge issues with labor. They can't hire back enough staff to work to maintain that network. And where they are, it takes often at least 6 months to recruit, onboard, train someone in that network. So this is not a solution that can be fixed overnight. The key theme for almost anyone in the industry right now is to work together, share as much information as possible, whether you're an OEM, sharing your forecast, production plans and schedules, updating the network and dealers, logistics providers as often as possible. And if you're a logistics provider as well, sharing your capacity concerns, knowing where you're going to have problems, and working with your customers and your partners to address it. There are often solutions to these issues which are not based on a technological solution that hasn't been invented yet. Many of them are real things that can be done now by people, for example, at this Finished Vehicle Logistics Conference, and of course working in the industry. That's the whole reason why this conference is there and has happened, and why we're so happy that we're able to bring it back here to Huntington Beach and to California and share it with many of you. I hope you'll consider following us on LinkedIn and visiting automotivelogistics.com media to learn more about what happened at the conference, and of course other events that we'll be holding in North America and beyond on this topic. So thanks again for following us here. We'll be back with more highlights and updates tomorrow at Finished Vehicle Logistics North America.